Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, whichever one you prefer today. Today we are going to be talking about how to service the transmission and the front gear case on a 2016 Polaris Sportsman 570 touring model. This model, the one that I have here, does not have EBS or EPS on it. This is just a basic model. Anyway, we're going to go through and do servicing on it. Now, as you can probably see, this is a little bit different because it has been, I've already done the snorkel on it, and I have done the radiator relocated kit. So it's going to be also it has a winch in the front, so I'm sure some of you are going to find out that servicing the front differential case is a little bit tricky on these because the winch mount covers the fill hole. Anyways, I'm going to show you another way you can service it without having to remove your winch. The rear transmission diff case are together. Remember this, the rear diff case and the transmission case are one unit. And what it is when you service the transmission, you're actually servicing the differential case too. So the same fluid goes in both of them, and it through one fill hole itself. When you drain it, same thing, one drain hole, and drains both of them down. Anyways, on the rear diff, when you service it, you're going to service it to the bottom of the fill hole. Or, if you want to be more specific about it, you can service it 32 ounces, I believe. Anyways, we'll go through all that stuff in a minute as we're going through. The front one's going to be 9 ounces, or same thing to the bottom of the fill hole. Now, you're going to find out that in the front, it's a little different because you can't get to the fill hole if you have a winch on it. I know it drags. It's a pain in the behind, but we'll go through that. But first, let's talk about something more important. Well, let's talk about something more important here. Before we get started, let's talk about safety. We're going to be working with petroleum lubricants, and some people are allergic to these, and some people are not, but whatever. You know, this is nasty stuff, so make sure you cover yourself and be safe. So, you know, wear latex gloves on your hands, and because you're going to be working around these things and it's liquid, it could splash in your eyes. Safety glasses to splash. You can wear a face shield if that's what you have. They also make different other types of glasses that you can use, but anyways, be safe. Also, make sure that if you jack up your unit, I'm not going to jack mine up as you can see, but if you jack it up, make sure you use some jack stands and be careful. Next thing, let's talk about tools. Tools we're going to be using is some paper towels, of course the safety gear, glasses, gloves, some basic tools, pliers, screwdriver, also the plugs are an Allen head type plug. It's metric, so make sure you get some metric ones. A good quality set. Do not be using them cheap ones that round out stuff. Also some tools, a ratchet, an extension so you don't mess up your knuckles because you know that stuff hurts. And the other thing is, because, anyways, what I'm going to show you is a little bottle here with the increments in ounces or milliliters, centiliters, whichever one you have, to measure some fluid. And I'm going to show you why we're going to use it. This is a little oil squirter. Very handy tool to use for this type of work. And the other thing is your lubricants. Now, the front uses a demand drive fluid from Polaris, and the rear uses an AGL drive case fluid. So make sure you get those. Mine's sitting over on the shelf. We'll get them in a little bit later. So here we are. We are about to drain the rear differential transmission case. Remember this, that you need, of course, a drain pan. Do not forget the drain pan. Anyways, the drain hole for the rear diff is on the right hand side behind the right rear wheel under the forward drive transfer case. As I already have a wrench attached to it and a light so you can see. I'm not going to show you why it drains because everybody knows how fluid drains. So anyways, we'll go from there. So anyways, we have done, or I have been draining this thing. It's the plug is back in. Also remember, you have to torque that plug down. And I'll get to the torque here in a minute. Anyways, we are in the opposite side, left hand side, almost straight across from where the drain hole's at, where the fill plug is at. And same thing, we take the plug out, and this is where we fill it. I already have the wrench on it so you can see, so I'll point it out. And you open that up and you can fill. Now remember what I was talking to you about is either 32 ounces of fluid or you fill it to the bottom of the fill hole. Whichever way you decide to fill it up, it'll be the right way. Hopefully you don't spill a lot of stuff. However, what I have done for mine, hold up a minute. Sorry, it's a little foggy there. Because I do these, I service mine quite often. I ended up doing something a little different than what most people do. I went and got one of these little gardening pressurized container thing that bought it at the hardware store. And what you do is, at least what I did is, instead of putting gardening chemicals in it, I put my oil in there. And it's a lot easier to service, trust me. You pump it up a couple times, get a little pressure going. You don't have to pump it up a whole lot because you know this transmission, this oil is a little bit thick. It does not flow very fast. So you pump it up a couple times, squeeze it, put it in the hole, put the end in the hole right here, squeeze the trigger, and guess what? It will fill up pretty quick. And guess what? You don't spill anything. Now you can do it the other way where you measure your oil, your fluid in a different container and try to use a funnel and get it in there, but it's a pretty big pain. But anyways, this is what I usually do. Let me show you. Pump it a couple of times. Lock it in. Set it down here somewhere near, and just bring the end to the hole. That's it. Just squeeze the trigger until it fills up to the bottom of the service port, and guess what? We are done. After that, we just put our plug back in. We are done with that. Now we torque the drain plug and the fill plug to 25 foot-pounds. Do not over torque these plugs. They are a pain to come off if you over torque them. You're going to have to do all kinds of crazy stuff to take them off. So if you don't have a torque wrench, mark a spot across both the plug and the case, and when you go to torque it down, torque it no more than 1/16 of an inch of it on the turn, and that should be plenty enough torque until you get somewhere where there's a torque wrench and torque it properly. Now that should get you home if that's where you're at, but make sure you torque them correctly. All right. Well, now that we are done with the rear, we are going to go ahead and move to the front differential case. The drain plug on this is in the front. It's a lot easier if you can access it from the front of the front wheels, and it's straight underneath. Anyway, I'm going to show you here. Come around. It is the same Allen head wrench, 8mm, that goes in there, and same procedure applies to this. Get a drain pan underneath. It's a right hand tighty, lefty loosey type thread, and it should not be torqued that much other than to 25 foot-pounds. So remember this, the torque 25 foot-pounds. Anyways, I'm not going to show you the fluid draining because I'm sure you know how the fluid drains. Anyways, you open it, you drain it, let it sit until it finishes draining, put the plug back in, and retorque it. And that's pretty much it on the draining part. Well, now we are over here on the left hand side in front, and on the refilling, resurfacing the front differential, it's going to be a little different if you have a winch installed. The reason is because the winch mount, one of the sides of the mount sits right over the actual service hole, and if you want to take it out, if you want to take the service plug out, you're going to actually have to remove the winch and the mount out of the way, and that is a hassle. Now on mine here, I'm not going to do that. The reason is because it's a little easier for me, because I have the radiator relocated up to the top, and it opens this whole area right here in front, so I can access the top. I can access the top of the differential case. The way I'm going to service mine is through the vent hole at the top. And what you do is you take that little clamp off, pull the hose off, and take the service nipple off. I mean the vent nipple. It's threaded into the top of the case. You can actually unthread it out, and it makes the hole a little bit bigger. Therefore, that way when you start servicing, you don't have to have so much air back pressure in there, and you can actually service it in. Anyways, I'll show you here in a minute. Anyways, here's where the vent line is at, and I'm going to point it out to you with this red handle. Anyways, this is a little service nip at the top of the differential case. It is threaded, as you can see. Just take it out, and it opens a hole right there. I know you can't probably see it. There you go. Maybe you can see it now. Right down there at the bottom of my finger. Yeah. As I was explaining to you earlier, when you service the front differential case, if you can get to the front fill plug, you service it to the bottom of the fill plug according to Polaris. Also, if you look at either the owner's manual or the service manual, you are supposed to service it with 9 ounces of fluid when drained. Well, since I can't get to the front plug, I'm going to have to use the measuring the fluid. So what I have gotten here is a little handy bottle with 6 ounces to the top. Once I fill it up, I will transfer this fluid to my handy dandy little oil squirter. Yeah. Anyways, once you fill it up in here, you go to service it. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see very well here, but anyways, what you do is as you can see, you attach the hose to the top of the hole, feed it in, and then you just start squirting. Remember, you measure in 9 ounces. This little bottle holds 5 ounces, so I'll squirt them 5 ounces and get some more fluid, and keep going until I have 9 ounces in there, and it should be correct there according to Polaris. Yeah, somebody's photobombing me over here. Once we are done filling that thing up with 9 ounces of fluid, by the excuse me, remember it's demand drive fluid. Demand drive fluid. Once you get to the top, filling it up, you put everything back together, and we should be ready to go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you service the front differential and rear differential case on a Polaris 570 2016 model. Now, I'm sure that there's other models that pretty much run around the same way to service. I for one, can't tell you exactly which ones. I just know mine. That's how I service it. It has worked fine the whole time, and I still put the same amount of fluid that Polaris says it wants in there. Anyways, the front differential takes demand drive main drive fluid, and the back one takes AGL fluid. So hopefully you have fun, and hopefully you find this video a little informative to help you out. You guys have a great day, and see you guys out on the trail.